I don't have like a bunch about what happened, so if you came to hear that, I had like a whole show I wrote before this weekend.
For the same reason that I can just say the slap and you'll already know what I mean, every single person, including you, your neighbor, and your estranged aunt, seems to have shared their opinions on the story. And now, a few days ago, the man most affected by the slap, Chris Rock himself, has finally come out with his opinion, and it is not what any of us expected. But first, let's take a refresher of the night's events before we delve into the later developments. Now, in the beginning, there was nothing remarkable about Sunday's Oscars, and everything seemed to be going pretty smoothly. That is, until it came time for Will Smith's award. And that's because, while referring to the couple, Chris Rock, unaware of the fact that Jada Smith had shaved her head because of a medical condition, made a simple, harmless joke about it, saying,
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Which was a reference to the movie featuring Demi Moore, who, shocker, had a bald head in the movie. Now, if Chris had known about the condition, or had made a more insulting joke, what followed might have been understandable. But instead, what happened was that Will Smith, the ever-dutiful husband, walked up to the stage and slapped Chris Rock, causing the audience to think that the skit was pre-planned, making them burst out laughing at the poor comedian's humiliation. Now this, as you can understand, would have been deeply upsetting not only for Rock, but for other people who realized what had actually happened. And one of the most prominent ones was Chris's co-host, Wanda Sykes, who, a couple days after the incident, spoke about it on the Ellen DeGeneres show, telling them how Chris had actually apologized to her instead of Will.
I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but I saw Chris, at Guy's party. And as soon as I walked up to him, the first thing he said was, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "Why are you apologizing?" He was like, "It was supposed to be your night. It was supposed, you and Amy and Regina, y'all were doing such a great job. I'm so sorry. This is now going to be about this."
Which, once again, shows just how sensitive Chris has been since the incident, causing Wanda to be even more enraged at Will, and more importantly, at the Academy for not taking the right action. Saying,
and it was sickening. It was absolutely, I physically felt ill, and I'm still a little traumatized by it.
Me too.
Yeah, because and for them to let him stay in that room and enjoy the rest of the show and accept his award, I was like, how gross is this?
Which is an opinion echoed by many people across the internet. Because, let's face it, you just don't get to hit someone publicly, let alone the person supposed to be presenting you the award, and then get the award a few moments later.
This is just the wrong message, like, you assault somebody, you get escorted out the building, and that's it, but for them to let him continue, I thought it was gross.
Now, the Academy has since come out and publicly condemned Will's actions and apologized for their conduct. In a statement following the incident, the Academy said, "During our telecast, we did not adequately address the situation in the room. For this, we are sorry. This was an opportunity for us to set an example for our guests, viewers, and our Academy family around the world, and we fell short, unprepared for the unprecedented." And also revealed a very interesting fact that Will was actually the one who refused to leave. Things unfolded in a way we could not have anticipated. While we would like to clarify that Smith was asked to leave the ceremony and refused, we also recognize we could have handled the situation differently. And have also taken more serious action by banning Will from the awards proper, revealing in a follow-up statement that the Board of Governors convened a meeting to discuss how best to respond to Will Smith's actions at the Oscars, in addition to accepting his resignation. The board has decided for a period of 10 years from April 8, 2022, Mr. Smith shall not be permitted to attend any Academy events or programs, in person or virtually, including but not limited to the Academy Awards. Now, that's all nice and good, but the person who has remained the quietest about the whole thing by far is the guy at the focal point of the entire thing, Chris Rock. Because while the Academy, Will, and even Jada all seem to have closed off the case, we haven't really heard anything like that from Chris Rock. So it's no surprise that when it was announced that he would be presenting a show in Boston a few days after the event, people were queuing up to see what he had to say. And now, with that event over, we finally have something that tells us what's been going on inside the guy's head. And while it may not be much, it's still very interesting. During the show, which took place exactly 3 days after the awards ceremony, on Wednesday, Rock was greeted by a completely sold-out audience, which was to the shock of absolutely no one. In fact, it was later revealed that the comic had extra security for the event, and in a heartwarming move, his entrance was met with applause from the entire audience, showing just how many people sympathized with the guy. And in true Chris Rock fashion, his opening words were,
How was your weekend?
taking a jab at the roller coaster of a weekend that he himself faced. This gives us the first clue as to his opinions on the matter. He's not taking a serious stance just yet, but is also taking it lightly, which is really relieving to see. And another thing that fans loved to see was his reaction to the support, making him visibly teary-eyed and happy. As a fan told BBC, as soon as he got on stage, we immediately broke into a standing ovation. He couldn't get a word out for a few minutes. And we saw him wipe the tears from his eyes, which, it made him feel good, obviously. And in response to that overwhelming support, the comic said, After that little bit, he also clarified that the show he was about to perform was written before all of that mess happened, meaning that, to the dismay of a lot of people, he would not be addressing the thing during it.
I don't have like a bunch about what happened, so if you came to hear that, I had like a whole show I wrote before this weekend.
And just in case there was any doubt left, he said in straight terms that while he will come out with a proper statement someday, that's still ways ahead, and that he is still reeling from what happened. Telling the audience that, he said, I'm still processing what happened, so at some point, I'll talk about that It'll be serious. It'll be funny, which is another super mature move by him. Good for you, Rock. And after that, he officially closed off the discussion of the weekend's events and started his actual show with the words, Right now, I'm going to tell some jokes. It was only after the event that he answered some questions that had been bugging fans the entire time, saying that, other than the weird thing, life is pretty good, showing once again that he's not trying to say anything clear-cut about the event just yet. He also denied certain rumors that were started when Sean Diddy Combs mistakenly assumed that the two had talked it out and told Page 6 on Sunday that he can confirm that Will and Chris made amends after the scuffle. It's all love, he said. They're brothers. In response, Rock said, I haven't talked to anyone, despite what you heard. And that's part of a very interesting pattern that people noticed. Not only does Rock not seem to be referring to the event directly, but he has outright refused to take Will or Jada's name since that Sunday, which has led a lot of people to assume that he has a grudge against the couple. But at the same time, there have also been reports that during the show, he shut down an audience member who cursed out Will. According to a few people in the audience, an audience member cussed out Smith by yelling, "F Will Smith," which Rock was quick to silence, pointing at the guy and saying, "No, no, no." There's also the fact that he has refused to press charges against the man, as later confirmed by the Oscars executive producer Will Packer and the LAPD, who said in a statement that the individual involved has declined to file a police report. And while you and I can sit here all day speculating on what he feels, only time can really tell. Click on one of the 2 videos on your screen right now.